Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch. Today we are covering Nemesis, that's currently streaming on Netflix. This is season 1, and I will be covering episode 3. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video, and you can also subscribe. And you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this episode. Okay, so when I checked earlier today, or tonight, or last night, I see that it's still streaming at number 2. Now, it didn't make it to number 1. I said, okay, top 2. Go ahead, Nemesis. Anyway, we're going to get into this. Episode 3 of Nemesis starts with Styles looking into Coltrane's files. It turns out he served time at Lancaster alongside of Darren. Celia is unconvinced that Coltrane is their guy. And I think that y'all really got to tap into Styles. Styles seems so crazy, but I think that y'all need to listen a little bit more. But I understand why there is hesitation not to really believe that Coltrane is this person, because on the outside it looks like he has turned over a new leaf of life after the serving time. According to him, Coltrane cleaned up his act and built a reputation as a reformed black man helping the community. Styles insists that he is right, and he already has the others watching the crew members. Yeah, a lot of them are staked out, and who was it? Is it Stoll or Slow? Whichever one. The light-skinned one. He's the one that peeped that. Cerullo and Brinkley stay on Dion, who is managing 2 households. Yeah, we done found out that he got 2 baby mamas. Yvette spies on Chris at his custom shop while Harper and Nick watch Darren. Nick thinks that they are wasting time. Of course, Styles choosing to watch Coltrane himself because he's the big cheese. He notices Coltrane picking up a delivery box from Troy's shop. In the meantime, Coltrane thanks Ebony for Thanksgiving dinner, and she asks about work. He asks her to trust him since she wanted out. He suggests that she focus on the gala and reassures her that they are still a team. Candace calls Styles to remind him of the upcoming gala and informs him that she got him a new suit. He promises to be there. It looks like things are on the more positive level for Styles and Candace, because of now it seems like he's suddenly into her and doing the things that she wants done. Elsewhere, Charlie meets with Coltrane at his office to give him Styles' vow. She asks him what happened the previous night, and he tells her about Tai. She warns him that Dion is a liability and tells him to find out what Styles knows so far. She also wants Coltrane to keep Ebony updated in case they need to skip town. Ike could confront Styles for compromising his case and getting Tai off. With Tai deceased, Ike's case is there too. Darren calls Coltrane to tell him that someone is watching them, and Coltrane asks him to check Telegram where he sent Styles and his team information. He says Darren knows what to do. This is when things start to get interesting, because I said, oh, Coltrane don't mess around, because it's so interesting at how the chess pieces move between Styles' team that are full of a task force and all that, and also Coltrane's team. They got this army regiment or military regiment about themselves, where one's going to stay one step ahead of another, or try to. Just when Styles think that he got the best of them, they turn around and do something, and they got the best of Styles' team. So they start touching what's close to every member's, touching something close that is sentimental to every member that's on the task force. Contrarily, Styles meets with Malik, the assistant chief DA, to see if he can get warrants on Coltrane's crew. He tells Malik about Tai's offing and his suspicion that Coltrane's crew was involved. Unfortunately, it's all circumstantial evidence, and Malik can't issue a warrant, especially since the jewel heist case is considered closed. Malik promises to help as soon as Styles gets something concrete. Now, Malik is going to play an important factor later on in this season, and I was just kind of taken away about what's going to happen. Whatever, we'll get there. Yvette calls to inform him that they have been made, and that Chris led her to her child's school. I said, that's the part. I'm like, Coltrane's crew is cold. Darren led Nick to his wife's office. Styles calls for an impromptu meeting after everyone except him is made. Basically, everybody's been affected in some type of way from Coltrane's interference in some type of way in touching something that's sentimental to them. But for some reason, Styles is being left alone, or so he thinks. They realize that the crew is sending a message. Nick alleges that Coltrane didn't make Styles because he is innocent. They still trying to make Coltrane to be this good guy, which I think all in all, I mean, he's doing bad things, but all in all, the streets keep calling him back. Let's just say that much, as far as with Coltrane. Cerullo also has a hard time believing Coltrane is the crew leader. Seeley reminds Styles of his 48 hours to wrap up his witch hunt on Coltrane, and he's especially pissed off to learn that Styles burned Ica's CI. At the storage house, Coltrane confronts Dion for messing up. Again, they agree to get the police off their back for good. They believe the police don't have anything other than Dion's stolen watch. The police can use it to tie them to the Halloween heist. They break into Harvey's house, which I thought was interesting, which was clever, that night, and threaten to kill him if he doesn't withdraw the stolen watch case. They give him back the stolen watch. And they give him his watch back, and later Coltrane talks to Dion to check with what's going on with him. He promises to help Dion if he is struggling financially, and they also talk about the miscarriage, and Dion promises to get himself together. And simultaneously, Ebony takes a pregnancy test. It's interesting, like Dion has to do all these extra things. Maybe that's why he's a little bit more erratic and goes rogue, because he knows his responsibilities. For whatever reason, he's not really taking care of himself with ever the money that he makes from all of these type of jobs that he gets. But I know he tries to say, well, he got 2 families. Okay, cool. But I mean, dang, you can't still take care of them? So I think that's part of the reason why Dion does the things he does, but also because of how little trust that this crew really has in him. That he thinks that he's got to man up and take control. The next day, Noah and Styles bond while playing basketball. They clear the air about what happened at Thanksgiving with Amos. And Noah still wants a relationship with his grandfather, but Styles does not want to tell him what happened between them. I think that is the only way that you can move on, Styles. Because you want Noah to do what you say do. But that's not even natural as far as a response. But ooh. Ahead of the gala, Ebony tells Candace about her pregnancy and past miscarriage. She's moved by how happy and supportive Candace is, and she was. And later, Charlie reveals that she got a house for Ebony in case her plans with Coltrane go wrong. Ebony fully trusts Coltrane as her partner and has faith that things will work out. Yeah, Charlie plays both sides. And you don't really know if you can trust her, because in some type of way, she's trying to work Coltrane at the same time, be protective of her sister, and I get all of that, but it's just like, whose team are you on? It looks like you're more team you. Of course, you don't want your sister to fall by the wayside, and I get that, but it's just like, when is the shoe going to drop for you as to how you're actually operating and moving between both of them in a way to kind of get in between their relationship? It's like, I understand it, but then at the same time, it's just like, can we really trust you, Charlie? Or are you really looking out for the best interest for your family, meaning your sister, aka Ebony? Meanwhile, Brinkley spots a Coltrane at the Halloween party with his wife while reviewing the CCTV footage. Later, Charlie meets with a client who insists on giving her a job. He wants her crew to rob a truck full of ketamine worth $10 million. She asks to run the specs, and he clarifies that she has no choice. And this dude is just sniffing stuff right in front of her face. I'm like, okay, we obviously know where this is going to go. Obviously, some type of tragedy is about to happen to this dude. While getting ready for the gala, Ebony revisits the idea of going on the run. Coltrane refuses, saying it's not worth it. Charlie calls to tell him about the new job, but he passes on it. He feels she was right when she suggested taking a break earlier. At the station, Yvette tells Styles about the guard at the party who remembers Coltrane. He asks Yvette to schedule a meeting with the guard that night, but then changes his mind. Gucci, the lab technician, calls to ask Styles to meet him. He sends Yvette because he has to go to the gala. At the gala, Styles doesn't turn off his phone like he promised Candace to do. He also is not pleased to learn that they are there to honor Malik. He, Malik, and Candace went to the same college. Malik still holds a candle for Candace, which is crazy. And he doesn't even try to hide it, which is crazy. Because it did seem like that they were familiar when Styles and Malik did meet earlier, like they were friends or something like that. But obviously they can't be that friendly about it, or friendly towards each other. They're just familiar with each other at this point, because Styles got to know that this man wants his wife, or maybe he's unaware because he's too focused on his job. But look, all I can say, Styles, you better wake up. On the other hand, Candace is pissed that Styles excuses himself to take Yvette's call. The latter informs Styles that Gucci found DNA on the explosives used in the jewel heist. If they can link the DNA to Coltrane's crew, they can reopen the case. As luck would have it, their wives introduce Coltrane and Styles to each other at the gala. Coltrane invites him to get a drink, and they start playing this psychological mind game with each other, which I absolutely love. I said, ooh. Good job, Courtney Kemp, because, oh my God, that was so juicy to see these folks try to play against each other. Coltrane dares Styles to try to catch him if he thinks that he's guilty of something. Catch me if you can. Candace is pissed when Styles becomes obsessed with Coltrane instead of enjoying their night, and she chooses to hang out more with Malik. While Styles takes Coltrane's glass to get his DNA, he calls Brinkley and has him deliver the cup to Gucci at the lab. At the same time, Candace encourages Ebony to tell Coltrane about the pregnancy. Coltrane and Ebony leave the gala. Malik and Candace also leave together, as she assumes Styles has already left without saying goodbye. He feels a bit hurt when he sees her with Malik, but he chooses to stay on Coltrane instead of attending to your wife. Obviously, this is telling of something in the future to happen. Coltrane takes Ebony to a private location and tells her about Styles' investigation into him. He is certain that Styles has nothing and wants to take Charlie's job as the final hurrah. Once the job is done, each member of the crew takes home over $2 million. He figures they will have enough money and he can leave the crew. With the baby on the way, he feels it is time. I think that was just kind of the signature, okay, I'm out. And I can get there even faster if I take this Charlie job. Styles waits for Coltrane to get home with Ebony, but she returns by herself. Using the burner phone, she calls Charlie to tell her that Coltrane will take the job, and he has gone underground with his crew to get ready. She asks Charlie to make sure that Coltrane safely returns home. The following day, Nick and Styles are shocked when Harvey calls to report that he found his watch. They drop by his place and ask more questions, and Styles realizes that Coltrane's crew got to him. Harvey refuses to talk and withdraws the case. Oof. Unfortunately, Styles' time is winding up, and Celie asks him to drop the case. He wants Styles to stop his witch hunt, and Yvette adds that Styles ran into Coltrane and his wife last night. And Celie worries that Coltrane will sue the police for harassment. I get that, so it's like Styles is going to have to make the decision to let this go or to continue on what his gut is telling him. Yvette tells him that the guard remembers Coltrane having sex with his wife at the time of the robbery. Styles doesn't buy it, and he thinks that there might be a leak. How else can they explain how the crew found out about their personal lives? Yvette is offended by his theory. Who do you think the leak is? Because I don't know as of yet. I haven't watched everything. I haven't watched the whole season as of yet. Who do you think the leak is? At home, Candace talks to Styles and apologizes for getting a ride with Malik when she thought that he had left. She mentions that he was using his phone at the gala and he apologizes for it. He admits that he is obsessed with his current case because he believes the person killed Manny Shaw. He believes that they will make a mistake soon and he will catch them. Elsewhere, Coltrane and his crew finish their preparations for the next job. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show. I know I already told you about how I felt about the first episode as I did that review, but I'm loving this whole catch-22. Well, not catch-22, it's the cat and mouse game. That's what I meant to say. That's going on right now. But it's like who's zooming who's gonna be the first to get their competence. Am I saying it right? Hopefully I am. Get their just due in whatever type of way. Coltrane just wants to do his job and get done, stay under the radar and all that. But since Styles, you want to come in and try to mess up the game, I got something for you. Because I got to throw you off so I can go on and do my due and then come out smelling like roses. I get it. Yeah, so I'm interested in a lot of these storylines. I do want to know who the leak is, and also Malik and Candace. If a dude already got interest in you and not shy about telling you about it, yeah, and you also have problems with your husband right now, I wonder what that's going to bring. Yeah. So, we'll see if this pregnancy is a second chance for them, or maybe Ebony's just going to have to do things alone, as far as with Coltrane and Ebony. I don't know how things land later on, but we shall dig into that. Stick with me. I'll have more episodes this weekend that I'm reviewing. Tell me how you're enjoying the show thus far, even in my episode 3 review. Like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.